Hello, hello. It is that time again. Welcome to the show. Weekdays, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. As always, it's a joy to be here and to connect with all of you. It's so fun. So fun. If you have any questions or comments, or you'd like answers, if you want me to look at anything, feel free to write any comments or ask any questions below. If you are new to the show, welcome. As always, too, I always love to hear where people are watching from. Apparently, it's been it's an international show already. We have people from several different countries sometimes hopping on, so it's fun to hear where everyone is at. So, all right. Well, if you're new to the show, a little bit about what we do. We usually start with a general energy reading of the day. I do the way that I do this is I use some of my the abilities that I have developed, as well as some of the skills and gifts that have just been present throughout my whole life, or especially been coming in pretty strong the last 10 to 15 years. And I'll use those to kind of check in and to share what energy and what light. I'm able to see a lot of energies with my physical eyes, and I've kind of learned to understand the language of that. So that, and then mixed with sensations and messages and the body and all of the spiritual senses, it's just kind of like this language that I've learned to speak. And so I'd like to share that. So welcome. Good. Love it. We're getting people on live. So I'm going to start with the daily energy of the read and kind of what I see and what impressions I'm having today. And then we'll go in, and I just have, I'll do a couple quick anonymous, or they're not anonymous. They were emailed. They're messaged in, I think. And then we'll go to just everyone here. So gather your questions and what you'd like to have looked at here. So welcome again. All right. Daily energy of the day. So yesterday it was kind of fun. There was almost like an angelic singing energy going it was in the sky, and it kind of looked kind of goldish and yellow, and it had like a melody in it, and it really did just feel like angels were singing, and it was quite beautiful, especially even after earlier this week we saw kind of it reminded me of like a scroll being unraveled, and so it's like a lot of messages coming in from heaven or from the divine, however you want to phrase that. So yesterday was a little bit of that angelic singing. Now today it's kind of a part 2 of that, where I'm still singing. I'm still seeing some of that same energy, but it's changed just a little bit. So instead of just like this rejoicing, just super like melody, like loving message, it almost has a beat to it, like it has a rhythmic pattern. And this rhythmic pattern reminds me of like those songs that sometimes that people sing when they're working. So it's like, come on, we're working, dun, da, 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 right? It has this rhythmic pattern, like, come on, let's be cheerful while we work. It's like a very like the term that came to my head, it was almost like happy laborers, like they're doing some work. And also I got that this singing and this message coming to us is also to cheer on all of us that are living on this planet. So all of us in the mortal flesh at this moment, they're just singing, they're cheering us on. It's also, if you look at the meaning and the purpose of those songs while they work, it makes working easier. So it really does just feel like this message to help cheer on anyone who's feeling weary or feeling a little tired. It's like to kind of keep going, you got this. And we're going to sing a working song to help you not feel as weary and not feel as alone, and to keep the pace and just keep going, because you are laboring in this amazing earth. And this is our opportunity for growth and connection. There's all kinds of amazing things on this earth. There was, I looked a little bit at the energy, but while I was a little bit before I hopped on and during the wonderful song music while it's introducing. So I did get a little bit more more messages here for collective, which was kind of interesting. So this was almost like a structural energy, and I could see it was in regard to a lot of like the financial situation of honestly the entire world. And it was looking as if uh, like there was just this funnel of, so on one side I saw like the majority of the population and the mass, like the words are so tricky when you're doing energy. What am I saying? I guess just population, right? The majority of the population kind of had this like little structured energy over here. And I could see a lot of finances that were just kind of funneling up into, it kind of reminded me of like the wealthy or getting wealthier. And it looked like it was just going to keep peaking and peaking. And so it was just like it was going to funnel up to quite a thin top that would hold the majority of this wealth on the world in the world, and then the majority of the world's population would not. I did also see that it was at the rate it's doing a little bit of this flip, it's not going to it will eventually collapse. It's going to backfire is kind of what I was seeing. It's going to backfire just by the energy and the rate it's going, because the majority of the world's population, like enough people, enough quantity of people, if they all start being aware of this and all start speaking up, to collectively the voices and the actions matter. So if there's like boycotting any products or boycotting any processes or things like that's not okay, like that the majority of the people's voice will ultimately rule. So as it's going that route, it's also going to make more and more the majority come together. Also with the nature of just what's been going on this planet, especially the last few months, with just this whole truth being revealed kind of energy that's been going on, is that I was really strongly feeling that corruption will be made known. Like it's like this universal law. And this is also in your personal lives as well. So it is super important for all of us right now to live in complete integrity. I love that word integrity, because if you think about like, even like if you use that word, like an integrity of a ship, if you think about the ship, and it's like this, if the ship is in integrity, it means that no leaks, there's no holes, there's no water getting in. And so that's so symbolic for each of us. So it's important for us to live in integrity so that we don't have anything draining out of us or anything pouring in. It doesn't make us prone to being hit as hard. It's like, just make sure that you're really living in an honest and aligned way that is super filled with integrity. Because no matter what, like by universal laws and what's going on right now, things are going to be revealed and shown. So that was kind of a big one today, but hopefully you like it. And I'm curious, what you guys are thinking about it. Okay, good. I'm loving it. We got some readings coming in. So awesome. Okay. So I'm going to just do one, I'll do the email one really fast. We've got Megan. This one's for you. It's a general reading, but especially blocks around any of your self-work. So it sounds like you've just been working on yourself and you're still feeling a little bit of blocks. So one of the first things I'm seeing for you is it's like I'm seeing you almost, it's like I'm seeing a lot of energy in your eyes, but it's like you're looking down at yourself, but I can see it almost looks reflective, like you're doing, like you're looking in the mirror and looking at yourself. And the eyes are kind of downward gazing, but in a way there's a lot of critical energy in the eyes. So I would perhaps, especially if you're doing self-work, to just invite you to release any of the criticism and let it just be. There's so much good when we do like mirror work. That kind of reminded me of what you were looking at. Like if you're doing a lot of mirror work and looking at some of those, sometimes we say like shadow sides of ourselves, or the sides that maybe we try to reject or not like, and we're trying to bring that place of wholeness. Just like we don't want to judge or condemn our good traits, we also want to be careful not to judge and condemn our bad ones and label us as bad people just because we have those traits. Because within each of us are the seeds for every good and every bad deed. I mean, it's like we have all aspects within each of us. And even though our actions may not be identical to someone else's, and we may be like, "Ah, I don't want to be like that," or whatever, there's still something about us that could have some manifestations of it in us. And even if there's not, we can't judge it in others, because in a way that's also judging ourselves for part of what we do. Like maybe we don't sin the same way as someone else, but we still got our own stuff, right? We got our own, can't, because if we're looking at somebody else, it's the beam and the mote in the eye, it's like we can't look at that. But the same thing with yourself. Like if you're going to love others, you also have to love yourself. And that's what it just feels like almost getting to the place, like symbolically, kind of an image is coming to my mind where I'm seeing, Megan, you standing, like let's say you're standing in front of the mirror and you're totally naked and you're just like exposed, but you have like scars and maybe you have stretch marks, you got some things around you and on you, and getting to a place where you're like, yeah, I love all of that. I love every single one of these scars and marks and supposed flaws. They're all beautiful and all amazing, and they're all part of the wholeness that make you. The flaws are actually what make us unique and what make us so beautiful. I mean, our gifts too, but like really, it's like a unique blend of all these things. And also, I feel like just to remind you that sometimes those things that we view as weaknesses or flaws are also clues to our strengths. So if you could look at something like, let's say, hey, I can be stubborn. So then a positive side of that is, okay, stubborn is more the negative version, but on the flip side, that also means I could be passionate, driven, determined, like all of those good traits. So I encourage you to kind of flip that and start looking at that. And I also feel like that's a message for many watching this. We've all got stuff, and use it as a clue. I do this a lot. Like even when I work with clients or I'm teaching things or whatever, and people are like, oh, here's my weaknesses. And then I'm like, ooh, like you just told me your strengths. Just because you said your weaknesses, it's like I can easily flip to that other side of the coin and go, oh, that's amazing. And then you just ask, well, how can I then strengthen the side that may be perceived as a weakness, or how can I support it? But I don't have to judge it or think it's bad, because it's all part of one and the whole beautiful person that you are. So hope that speaks to you. All right, I'm going to do the next anonymous later. I'm going to try to get to some of these who are on live. Loving having people on live. Heidi, welcome. Let's go to you, my dear. Would love any insight for you. Heidi, thank you. And I love it when I can see faces and their messages here. So let's just see what comes up for you today. Let's see. Okay, so one of the first things I see is it looks like you've got a lot of things on your to-do list, or you've got a lot on your brain and a lot of things that you're trying to juggle and do. And it's like, got all this to-do stuff. It's just like a lot of busy energy around here. And I see, first of all, I see your beautiful energy, like in the middle, just like this really good desire, just like, I just want to do my best. It's like so beautiful. It's just, like I said, it's just like, I just want to do my best and just do the best job that I can. But I also see that you just have a lot going on that you're trying to do. So the thing here that I could also see is that it would be really important to just take a few moments to make sure you breathe. Part of that energy is also in your lungs, making it feel like, I gotta hurry, or there's a lot to do, and it's just affecting your breath work. So I would recommend just taking a good 5 or 10 minutes and go lay down and go throw on some relaxing music and concentrate on your breath and relaxing any of that stress. And also to just be okay that there's some things you might be able to say no to. There's some things you might drop and be okay with. But most importantly, when you're in that relaxed, whole, complete space, you tend to think more clearly. Like there's a lot of benefits to being in that space. And so when you handle the to-do items, it won't be as draining because it's not going to kick over into your fight or flight and kick over with, increasing the stress hormones and stuff. So anyway, make sure you take some breaks today and make sure you breathe, get some breath work in. So thanks for being here. And of course, as always, let me know if this resonates. Okay, let's go to Vicky. Hi, Vicky. Let's do a general reading for you today. Okay, so Vicky, one of the first things I'm seeing is it's like energy in your eyes, and it's also connected to your heart. And it feels as if something that maybe you are witnessing is making you feel a little sad, or it's just like a little bit heavy on your heart, I guess is a better way. It's just like, so maybe there's a loved one or there's a situation, there's something that you've been seeing or witnessing, and it's just a little bit heavy. I see that it's just this, you have a beautiful desire to love and to serve others. Like I just keep hearing almost the scripture, like to love one another, like just love one another. Like that's just just feels like almost like this little mantra inside your head of just like, I just want to love one another. I just want everyone to get along. I want everyone to be happy. I want things to be easier for people. And it's out of this complete and beautiful space that you just love people. So I love that. And it's so beautiful. And so just make sure that, just make sure that you, can love and serve others, but without necessarily taking on the pain yourself. So that's what I would recommend for that. And also one other little clue or one little thing on here is to just amplify the love in your heart. So there's almost a direction of energy here where you can kind of be like, oh, I love you. And it kind of like is a downward, oh, I love you. But then there's also another way to go, oh, I love you, and just expand the energy of your heart so that other people can feel it. And I feel like you could ramp up that heart energy and just be like, okay, everyone who's in my space, in my house will feel my love. Anyone in my city will feel my love. Anyone in my state, my country. Expand that heart energy to like the whole world. Just like, because you're on this planet, people are going to feel your love because it just is exuding out of your heart. And so that's a more expansive way to love versus, oh, this hurts, I want to love them, and because it hurts, it shrinks in, and it can be a little bit more harmful to you. So, all right, my dear, hopefully that helps. Thanks for being here and asking questions. Okay, let's go to Mitchell. Hello. Can you tell me more about the energy supporting me in my efforts to be more self-reliant in my work efforts? Yes, let's look at this. Okay. Okay, so I'm seeing I see a lot of great things happening for you, like around you. Like I see that maybe you've been finding things that you're passionate about, that you're interested in, and it looks like it's just kind of like around you. Sorry, can you guys see me okay? It feels like I'm gonna shrink that. Anyway, so it feels like there's a lot of great things there, like a lot of almost like tools or things that you can grab. The only thing that I'm not seeing is that it's lacking some of the structure and intention. And that may not be, actually, it kind of feels like maybe you've intentionally tried to not put too much structure on things. Perhaps it's like, I kind of feel like there might have been some negative experiences around structure, or it could have been feeling too confining for you, like a cage or a box around you. And so you've been kind of breaking out of any of the boxes in the cages, but which was good, necessary for your progression. But it's like, now I see that if you've got all these things in place, now what structure can you put in place? More as just like a ladder or like a foundation that you can stand on and then build upon. So structure sometimes be really good. If it doesn't come natural to you, is there someone in your life that is pretty good at it, and can you lean into that? And then also, while you're creating some of that structure, making sure that you're doing some of that emotional and spiritual work where you won't repel or reject any of the structure or commitment or whatever it is that would trigger feeling that confinement. Because if those energies are still there, then you could subconsciously sabotage any efforts that you have, because it would be like, I mean, there's parts of the subconscious that knows if your business is successful, if you start doing things in a certain way, you're going to have X amount of clients, you're going to have, this much workload, and it could feel overwhelming. Like, oh, whoa, that's really overwhelming. It could crush me. It could be too much. I could be too much in a cage. And so your subconscious could start sabotaging it to make sure that you don't get to that place. So definitely release any of those subconscious things so that you can create and build some of that structure. So love it. And let us know how that was for you. Okay, and let's go to Julia. Just gonna send you some love. I'm definitely hearing this a bunch lately, and doesn't make it any easier, even though there's others going through it. But I just want you to know that you are loved and you're not alone. Okay, but let's see what we can look at to see. Let's see what could help you on that. Okay, so just feeling, I'm just going to look at the energy and do a scan really fast on this. Okay, so I'm kind of seeing and hearing some like little belief patterns in the mind. A phrase that I'm kind of hearing is, what's the use? Like, what I do is not going to make any difference anyway. Doesn't matter which way. I'm just gonna spit this part out, and I'm really curious if it is specifically what maybe you've had some of these thoughts on, but I'm almost feeling like maybe you're a Christian, so you believe in Jesus Christ and that he is coming again. And it almost feels like there's some beliefs in there around the end of the world or end of times or second coming, that like all these things, like what's the use? If we're gearing up for the end, why does any of this matter? Like, if it's gonna all blow up and go out in a blaze of glory, then do my efforts really matter? Can I really make any difference at this point? And so I don't know if that has ever crossed your mind, but it feels like there's something with that, with just feeling also too with that, but then also like within the world, it's like you just see things happening or going on, and it sometimes feel like you can't. Why does it matter? Like, it's little old me. Like, how could I make any difference or make anything better? Because it's just clearly on the path that we're on, and we just are going to have to deal with it. Perhaps you're even seeing some of the nefarious agendas that are coming about, and it just feels like the darkness wins sometimes. And so one, I'm trying to think, like, which is, sorry, I'm just kind of going through a lot of information for a minute. Which I can understand how some of those feelings could be like that, but there's almost a moment of choice where it's like, when you're faced with a choice, can you at least choose to believe differently? And then look for the evidence to support that. So look for evidence in ways that things do make a difference and things do matter. You're here on my show today. Like, I appreciate that. And hopefully I'm helping the one, like, and you have things too. Like, if it were truly the end and it didn't matter what we did, it just wouldn't even matter at all if we help a person. And that's just not the case. And so I feel like you have things, you have talents and gifts. You actually have, I see a lot of things even in your mind. Like, you have a book that you're going to write or something. Like, it just feels like you've got a lot of great insights and things to share with others. And it's not the end. And my personal belief is that even when Jesus Christ comes again, there's still a transition period of this world into the new world, like even as they're like as we learn and we grow and we do things. So quite possibly every single ounce of things that our goals and our dreams are going to still be important, and we're still going to be doing them and working on them even when he comes, because it's going to be that transition period, when he's leaving the world. So anyway, let me know how that fits. I just feel like you've got a lot there. And then I also have felt like I had a video too about the value of struggle, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to link to that here in the feed, because it was a warning that I heard a voice come to me in like January, and it was like talking to me about struggle and do not underestimate the value of struggle. And it really helped give me strength during some hard things, and it's helped a lot of people. So I'll share that too, and hopefully that'll help. Sending love. Okay, let's see here. Abantika, that's a cool name. Abantika Das. Okay, welcome to the show. What spiritual gifts, abilities you have, and how do you channel them? All right, well, let's look at your spiritual senses. Your spiritual senses are like the way that you receive information, and then you're in the way that your gifts move through them. And just as a reminder to anyone, we have a free quiz here if you wanted to check this out. This covers the top 4 spiritual senses. So take a quiz, check out which one's your strongest. And then if you'd like, there's also it's like about an hour-long training that goes through your intuitive personality, as well as your personality type, as well as the 10 spiritual senses. And so if you're interested in that, take that quiz, and you can even watch the training that's offered after that. But okay, so let's look at what comes up for you. Okay, let's see here. Okay, I see a lot of strong energy coming down through your hands and through your arms, which tells me you have an ability to serve others with your hands. It's like I'm seeing just like maybe you just know how to help them. It's almost like a second nature where it comes naturally. Like, let me help, let me hold, let me hug, let me do things. Like you just can do a lot with your arms. Even healing abilities can come in through that way. But sometimes healing abilities can even be knowing how to serve a person in a particular way. So I definitely see a lot of these gifts that move through your arms. And then I'm also saying, I would say that you even have some clear empathy, which is the emotions and the heart. It's like I'm seeing you picking up things from people, knowing how they feel. And I'm seeing a gift coming out through your mouth that maybe you would also be gifted with the ability to know what to say to help the person. So if they're standing in need of comfort, how can you help comfort them? And what can you say to them to help ease their burden and ease their pain? And then coupled that with the arms, like that's a beautiful flow there. Like, hey, let me help. So you really have some great gifts and strengths in the realm of humanity and helping humanity. And then it's like you take and you gather that information, and that helps go up. And it's like it's like I see this almost a library in your head of experiences and what people are going through. And it's like you're just learning about people and how to help them, and you're just gathering it up in your head. So the more you serve, the more you help, the more you speak into that stuff, then the bigger the library is going to be in your head. And so over time, you're going to really be able to do a lot of good there. So please let me know how that one resonated. That was pretty fun. And welcome to the show. It's so fun to have you here. Let's see. Yes. And that's so fun. You're on YouTube. Yay. Yes. If you're not familiar, guys, this is being streamed at YouTube, on Facebook, like it's in a Facebook group. Sometimes it's on a couple different Facebook pages as well as on YouTube. So yes, we can take questions. We can do all of this. This software that I have gathers up all the comments and puts them in one place so I can see them. So I love that. Love, love, love it. Okay. Love it. Keep going. That's awesome. So fun. Okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna go and also too, I see this, like your senses becoming stronger lately. I dare say that everyone's gifts and abilities are coming in stronger these days. There's a scripture that I just love. Goodness, I don't have the reference to it right off the bat here, but I want to say it's in Joel, but it says like in these days that the Spirit is going to be poured upon the earth. And it talks about like, the old man dreaming dreams and children and women prophesying and doing things. And so it's just like, this is the time that our gifts and our abilities and things that we're receiving, they're amplifying, and we're just getting so much because the Spirit is being poured upon the earth. And I truly believe that, like, when we are born and when we were created, like, heck, even down to our brain, we only use about 10% of our brain. What is the rest of our 90% for? Right? And so I just kind of feel like a lot of these abilities are just waking up, and we're expanding and growing into them. And who knows, we could be expanding our brain power too. So that would be cool. All right. And okay, let's see here, my dear. So Nicole, that's like a multi-layered message here. I'm going to put it up on the screen just for a second. I'm going to disappear. Then this will be my last one that I'm able to do today. But I'm going to just show it, and I'm going to answer yours in a portion, and then I can come back to you and even answer you in the Intuition Gym. And if you're new here, the Intuition Gym is our membership portion where we've got a lot of classes and courses and coaching, like weekly coaching, and we've also got a Facebook group where with a lot of interaction and stuff. So I'll answer what I can, Nicole, and then I'll come back to you in Intuition Gym. Okay. All right. A few weeks ago, health. All right. So I'll get back to you on the class. Let's go jump to the second part of your questions. Do you have any insights on the newer sensations, stomach and skin pain, and intense chills I'm currently experiencing? And what can I do to support my body now? Okay. So I'm really curious, Nicole, have you identified as being clairsentient by any chance? Clairsentient is your clear senses. It's where your body communicates to you. It is one of my dominant ones. So a lot of times, which, I mean, like, it's funny because I see things, but that's actually probably secondary. My seeing. The first one is the body, and the body sensations are it's a really tricky one to start to speak the language of it, because I mean, that can even go with like taste and smell. It's just because sometimes you just dismiss it. Like, it's just the body just doing things. But literally the body can communicate so much. When I'm connected to a person's energy or I'm looking at it, I could be like, oh, what's that? Oh, pain in my toe. Okay, what's that? Do you have a pain in your toe? And then the person might be like, yes. Or it could even just be symbolic and it's leading me a certain way. Or it could be showing me a direction. Or if I'm being pulled on from the back, it could mean that there's something in the past that I have to look at. Like, oh, what is this like in the past? Or it could be my stomach, the skin sensations, everything is just really, really heightened. So part of me wonders if you're getting some heightened levels of clairsentience. And like I said, it can get really, really intense there. And stomach issues, super sensitive to that, because it's like you just take it in right there, and your stomach is it's like where you almost digest what you're digesting, what you're receiving. So let's say, this is kind of interesting, but if I'm in the presence of like really low levels of darkness, like bordering on evil or like bad agendas, or sometimes if I'm watching a show or a movie and it's like, ooh, something's not good in this, I literally almost puke. I'll be like something there affects my stomach so much. So So it feels like there could be something like that. I also want to just say that there could also be, and feels like something there health wise. Like I'm thinking of like when I was I used to have hypothyroidism and it would feel like my bones were ice. I would get kind of cold. So, but it doesn't feel like you have that, but maybe it's just like leading into like the healing of it or going back. Another possibility is how much meat do you eat? Like do you eat very much meat? Are you a vegetarian? Also like a B12. Like if you don't eat a lot of animal products, you might make sure you have a B12 supplement because that can create some nerve and skin sensitivity and some skin pain. So it does feel like there's a possibility of even having these two things here where there's a physicality portion to it, like your body requires some support and some extra nutrients or some supplements to support it. So there's that aspect. And then also the other aspect is just that I think you're especially prone to it because that could be where some of your spiritual sense gifts are developing. So, yeah. Okay, cool. So yes, you do have clairsentience. Yeah, when clairsentience kicks in a whole bunch, it gets a little crazy because sometimes the body gets so loud. You're like, there's all these things going on. It's like, how do I work through it and feel it and move it, shift it, feel it? What does it mean? Like it can get really loud. And knowing that too, I'm also seeing, oh, this is a fun thing I'm seeing. Oh, I don't know if I've ever seen it quite like this before, but um you're just at the place you're going to be leveling up soon. So what I'm seeing is like a goldish ring around your whole body. It looks like it's like an encasement and it's vibrating and like it's buzzing around you. It's like going zzz, like so your cells or your body, your system is going to get used to like a higher, like it really is just making you think it's buzzing and taking your frequency higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. Like you're going to start just like really buzzing and taking off that way. With your level of clairsentience, I'm so glad you're in the intuition gym. Yeah, I'd love to even dive in a little bit more on this because I just feel because mine is so dominant with clairsentience, I almost just feel like there's some specific like things I could share with you that can you feel it? Oh, that's so awesome. Look at that. She can feel it. I feel that. Yeah, yeah. And I'm glad you're in that space because I do feel like there's and maybe even if you want to work together in like privately too a little bit, it'd be fun to just work with you and just see what leveling up you're about to do because it looked like an egg or like a shell that you're just like and then what is it going to be afterwards? It's just going to be like a little burst of light through it. So that's cool. And good question. Let's look at this. This is just fun because I'm sure like other people also have this clairsentience with your body. How do I work through a million sensations at once? Find ways to get it silent. So I have a vibration plate that I stand on. It's one of those little things that goes and it helps like just calm because it just vibrates everything and then kind of calms it down. I also have a light machine that I use. The like water sometimes can help, like shower. Like I've really been enjoying like swimming, kind of silences some of that. The grounding, the breath work. I'll listen to like these like binaural beats or and which is funny. When I listen to the binaural beats in my ears, I can feel the pulsing of the vibration out my toes. It's just like going through my whole body and it just is very loud. But anyway, that at least helps kind of bring everything into synchronicity in my body. So it's just not tons going on at once. Tuning forks is another thing. Exercise, making sure I'm going for a walk. Just dancing, just wiggling. Like, it's just like, I just try to get my body to a place where it's just not a million messages. It helps kind of focus in on one message at once. And that's crazy. You drew an egg with a comment. There you go. That's you. That's you. Okay. Well, I love this today, you guys. I love working with you and I've loved serving you today. And I'm sorry if there were a couple that I didn't get to today. I will definitely see what I can do Monday. If you want me to answer them on Monday, you can just let me know here. And so just want to thank you again for being here. And if you and then as always, I would appreciate it if you share it. Share it with anyone that you think could benefit from it. If you're new here, to tag people, tag friends, post in a group, post on a page, like wherever you can. Like, let's just spread the love and grow this, because it's so great to serve. So, all right. Thanks for being here, everyone. See you next time.